Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM 106.3, great to welcome back after we missed out last week with a long weekend. Mayor of the Kapiti Coast, K.Gurunathan. Guru, good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, John. Good morning, listeners.
And I see that yesterday you released a statement about the organisational review, which seems to be getting close to become a public document, Guru.
Yes. I think by 29th of June it will be released to the public. This is the report by the Martin Jenkins organizational review of the council, which was initiated late last year.
When we say late last year, it was something that was initiated by the previous council, wasn't it?
That's right. It was the previous triennium that was initiated. And it was focused a lot of public attention. Put it that way.
Absolutely. And this is a complicated process to go through because not only is the public interested, but also in a very, very primal sort of way, the staff must be as well. This must be a matter of some concern and interest around the KCDC headquarters.
That's right. Because you must understand it was initiated by the governance side, by the councillors.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, no organisation would want the governance side to initiate something of this sort, which may be seen as questioning their efficiency or ability to deliver.
Indeed.
So it poses a number of challenges.
When you say it maybe calls them to question their efficiencies, etc., what was the motivation for this organisational review?
I think it was James Cook who had a number of issues around how the council as an organisation was responding to a number of issues, particularly around the deliverabilities on economic development. I think that was the core of that. And of course, the terms of reference that the subcommittee that was set up under my chairmanship sorted out was covered the internal culture of the staff organisation, looking at staff satisfaction and turnover, the relationship and interface between governance and staff organisation. And this is going, whatever the report says, this is going to be a really interesting part.
Yes.
Thirdly, the relationship with key stakeholders and the interface between the staff organisation and the ratepayers. The fourth one is the effective delivery of the Open for Business program. They've got a separate terms of reference for that. And lastly, the capacity and capability of the staff organisation to sort of deliver on the council's objectives in a cost-effective and efficient manner. So having said that, I think the two areas that I like to touch on are the capacity and capability of the staff organisation to deliver on the council's objectives in a cost-effective and efficient manner. Now, this was initiated 8 months ago. The reality then is quite different from the reality now. In the post-COVID situation, we may be looking at a different set of deliverables in terms of how councils around the country deliver recovery, and they have to reorganize to do that. So this is going to be an interesting area because a new set of challenges have arisen. The question that I need to put to the reviewer is, what is generic in the whole analysis of deliverabilities that can still exist in this new scenario?
A very, very good question, because it has quite an important sideline. I think I'd like to make the observation, and I think you may have made it publicly as well, that I think in the last couple of months there's been some absolutely excellent performance and work ethic and work product shown from many people in the staff, and that emergency office operation really was outstanding. I think you've expressed your regard for that in the past, haven't you?
Yes, I have. And then we are going into a phase where right across the nation we are moving from the civil defense emergency management mode into what they are now calling caring for communities mode, which the government is driving under the MSD department, but it's the government as a whole response. And they'll be depending on local authorities around the country to be coming alongside and shaping their delivery. So the new set of challenges. So how do we measure this as against how we measured things before?
This is a very, very good point. Have the Gold Coasts moved a little bit?
I suspect it has, but this is a challenge to the question that I'm going to put to the reviewer from God. Because we have asked for something which we were not sure that that was the right question to ask currently. It may be the right question to ask before. Is it the right question to have an answer for now?
I mean, how the world has changed. Yeah, quite remarkable.
I'm going to mention in our council workshops and deliberations as to how we land this report. Unfortunately, none, myself included, and none of the key people I normally depend on to put the red flag up and say, hey, look, we have overlooked something, is we didn't consider how we're going to land this with the local EV, because we've got treaty obligations and a memorandum of understanding where we have protocols. And the very fact that we overlooked this, which means now the mayor's office has got to rectify that, which I'm doing. And so what that tells me is that in key terms of reference for the for this investigation is the relationship with key stakeholders. And one of the key stakeholders are local EV. They're not just merely mainstream stakeholders. They are treaty partners.
Yes.
Which is different.
Absolutely different. Very important. When you say how it lands with iwi, are you concerned about a lack of consultation before the process started, or getting it right now that it's landing?
No. I think we were very good. From the beginning, even the terms of reference, we had an EV representative who was representing the three EVs sitting with us in the subcommittee.
Oh, well.
So what I'm saying is,
yes,
despite the input, when it came to considering how we would land it, we totally forgot them.
Right.
So what does it tell you? So, and I think this particular partnership stakeholder, I think the report would, I suspect that the report will touch on this area. So I'm interested to see how that side happens. And it's going to land at a time when we have got global concerns of the invisibility or the discrimination or the subconscious bias against colored people.
Yes.
And minorities. We are seeing this in Australia and over here. So how is this report going to be managing to land something which has got fertile ground in terms of thinking, which is global?
Incidentally, and it is incidental, but gosh, what an enormous incident it is. It's amazing to see the people in the streets right around the world in relation to an incident in Maryland which seems to have reverberated everywhere. And as you say, once again, it appears that the world is changing in this regard.
Yeah. So we are dealing with a report that's going to have some bearing on wider universal global discussions.
This is getting fascinating.
Well, I mean, in the last few decades, what EV have told us is that basically they are finding in the post-colonial era and the democracy of numbers means they've got no space to breathe.
Yes, absolutely. Almost literally in this particular case, no space to breathe.
The cultural ability to breathe, their own culture, their own ways of looking at things, the way they manage their own resources and stuff like that. You know, they've been repeatedly saying, thank God in this country we have a treaty, and so we're not as bad as the Australians or the American Indians or the Canadian Indians.
Yes, we've got somewhere to start from, to build on. Let's get back to this report. Have you seen it, Guru?
Oh, no. Nobody has seen it. And that's why it's important to know that, because you have your recalcitrants who are ultra suspicious or conspiracy theories. This will all be a fix and stuff like that. But this report is written by Martin Jenkins. The particular lead report writer, Tom Gott, was the lead writer for the fantastic report on the MZTA performance the last few years, the review that they did on there.
Yes.
So this is really high caliber people, and so I find it actually an insult that we've chosen these people, and then we have other people questioning the objectivity of the people we've chosen. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, you wouldn't hear that criticism from me because I've known his work in the past, and this is what he does. So this certainly is top of the pile in that regard. In this context, Guru, are you the employer
Of?
of the council staff? Because what I'm thinking of, the responsibilities of being a good employer, and I imagine there's going to be some pretty sensitive discussions coming up that have to be properly managed.
Well, that's why, I commissioned the Simpson Grayson to represent councillors, elected members, to ensure that we are sticking to the Health and Safety at Work Act of 2015, because we employ one employer, that's the chief executive.
Yes.
Right? And so we have an obligation to ensure that in this, when we land this report, that he has had adequate time to review the report, talk to the people impacted in terms of his, and we don't know who they would be or which areas until everybody gets hold of the report. The senior managers involved and be able to discuss it before we release it to the public. He needs to have a chance. It's called, I think, the old phrase, natural justice.
So that released to the public the end of this month.
29th of June was released. The 15th of June will be released. Martin Jenkins will release to Simpson Grayson for them to have a look at it and be able to advise the councillors. 19th of June, we are having a big picture briefing with Tom God on what are the key issues are, and on that day, you'll be getting copies of it for us to do our own reading, in-depth reading. And the 23rd of June, there will be a thorough briefing of the report with Tom God. And I think it's a fairly robust process we follow.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And the 29th of June, as you say. Now, is there going to be just one report, one for the public, possibly one more sensitive report to be used internally, or is it going to be everything open?
No. From the time that Martin Jenkins delivers the report to Simpson Grayson, that's the report that will also land, not redacted, not changed, on the 29th to the public. In between, it will be discussed by the elected members, chief executive, EV.
So no redactions at all?
No. I mean, the report will be, it is what it is, and will be.
And then, of course, it's a matter of what do we do with the report. Do you consider this is going to be the springboard for action?
Well, there will be a number of, hopefully there will be a number of recommendations that are made, and then you'll see what these recommendations are. We're expecting the chief executive to have a bit of time to see, to deliver a position paper in terms of when he sees those recommendations worked on or landing. And in this area, we also have the issue we discussed before about the post-COVID recovery phase. What changes organizations have to do to meet the new challenges of changes that need to be done. And so how can you, this is the problem. The recommended changes that fit into the new changes that are necessary for the new scenario, which is generic to all councils right across the country.
Yes, the world has changed. It is a fascinating process. We live in great times, and it's excellent you can join us once again here on Beach FM. Thank you very much for your company, Mayor Gurunathan.
Thank you, John. Thank you to your listeners.
106.3 Beach FM.